Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 toxic habits I quit in order to heal my nervous system. I want to start off this conversation by saying that healing your nervous system is really a journey. It's not something that happens overnight. In fact, I still feel like I'm in the process of healing my nervous system. And that's because there's always going to be stress and anxiety in our lives that we are having to navigate. However, I found that by removing these 5 toxic habits, I really saw such a significant and impactful difference in my life, and I really hope that in sharing them today, you are able to experience the same freedom and healing. So starting with number 1, I quit expectations and timelines on my life. Now, I think from a young age, we are encouraged to set timelines. We're encouraged to know what college we want to go to, what career we want to have, what our 10-year plan looks like. And although it can be helpful to have some plans in order to provide some sense of direction as to where we want to go in life, I do feel like when we get in the habit of always creating timelines and expectations for our life, it actually steals not only the joy from the present moment, but it also causes us to miss out and be open to incredible changes and things that we should be saying yes to now. Because inherently, I think the plans that we set for our life and the expectations often do change. And I think that's actually a beautiful thing. I think they change into something that we never anticipated and that was intended for us all along. And I want to be so open to that and fully enjoy it rather than comparing it to the timeline I initially had in my mind. So something I'm doing instead is focusing on the person I'm becoming, the person I want to be in the future, rather than these external circumstances or achievements I want to have. So for example, when I look ahead towards the future, I think of the kind of mom I want to be, the kind of wife and friend I want to be, the kind of people I want to have in my life, the fact that I want to have a peaceful, slow pace of life. And that for me serves as my North Star and the direction in which I'm headed versus these things that I simply just want to achieve. Because I have found if there is a goal I set and I do end up reaching or achieving that goal, once I actually get there, it's not as satisfying as I thought, because a lot of times I wanted the joy and happiness that I thought would come from that goal or achievement rather than that actual thing itself. So I found for me just focusing on what I want my values to look like, my life to look like, most importantly, who I want to be as a person. That is something that is not dependent on how much money I'm making, where I live, what my life looks like, what career I have. It's something that I can continue to be in pursuit of every single day. The second toxic habit that I quit was overlooking having fun. Now, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but I am someone who growing up, when teachers said, okay, we're about to do something fun or we're gonna have a day of fun, that honestly created anxiety for me. I think for so much of my life, I didn't always align with what people said when they used the word fun, meaning that my idea of fun was simply different than what their idea looked like. I also think in a lot of ways, I just simply didn't know how to have fun. I didn't really know how to do things that didn't always seem to have a direct purpose or something that I could measure the success of. And it wasn't until later in life that I realized not only the importance of fun, but also how to have fun. And I feel like the thing that was really unlocked for me was this idea of high quality leisure. That is a concept that Cal Newport talks about in his Digital Minimalism book. And it's essentially just leisure activities that are simply just there to fill up your soul and to fill up your free time with really beautiful, meaningful things that just allow you to rest and recharge. And they don't have to serve any greater purpose than simply that. And when I began to truly take the time to try new things and uncover what it was that I actually love doing, what I actually look forward to doing when I have additional time, I realized that was really just a space in which I could truly decompress and truly recharge. I think so often we can be so intentional in so many parts of our lives that we almost forget how important it is to be intentional with the little free time we often have. I think in a world of entertainment, that time can often be stripped away from us because we're spent in front of a screen or scrolling, instead of actually using that hour to truly do something that sets our soul on fire. And that leads me to point number 3, which is that I quit seeing my rest periods as simply times in which I need to keep myself entertained, and I swapped that by focusing on how I can actually engage my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit. So in a very digital age where there is so much designed, whether it's advertisements, TV shows, social media, even our work and friendships are often designed to just keep us entertained, to simply keep our focus there. And our focus is only getting shorter and shorter. And so instead, when I learned to let that go and realize I don't actually have to keep myself entertained all the time, I don't have to constantly be feeding my mind with stimulation, I can simply just sit there and do nothing, and that actually is productive, and that can be very restful. And it's scientifically proven how much we just need our minds to just have a second to process all of the information that they're taking in each day. And when I learned how to engage different parts of my mind, working with my hands in my free time, learning how to move my body in ways that I really enjoy, realizing that I had this creative energy and space that I wasn't applying in my work, and I needed to find ways to just put it out there in my free time. I feel like there were so many things I unlocked and uncovered when I stopped trying to fill all of my free time by just keeping myself entertained, and I actually chose to sit there and be introspective, sit in the discomfort of silence, and actually reflect and see what it is that I truly want and am thinking, versus just going through the motions and getting caught up in just feeding myself more stimulation throughout the day. And although it was not intuitive, the way in which that just allowed me to take a deeper breath, and I realized that I was not feeling the same sense of fatigue or exhaustion, and I didn't feel like I just had to numb my mind or zone out at the end of my day. I realized how powerful it was that I had these tools in which I could truly use my free time in order to do something that was truly life-giving. The 4th toxic habit that I quit was always staying informed and always feeling the need to share/be accessible. Now for me, this point primarily has to do with social media. I'm someone who grew up in the digital age, and so I really didn't know any different. I just thought you share your life on your Instagram and your stories, and you just share with people what you're up to, and you keep up with all of your friends in a similar way. However, after I decided to go on a digital cleanse and truly just detox from all of that, I had so much clarity coming back, realizing I was consuming so much information that I just simply did not need and I was not interested in, and it was way too overwhelming. And so I now have very strict boundaries with social media. I'm hardly ever on it. I'm very intentional about staying in touch and connected with the few close friendships in my life, and my friends are so kind to know that if they want to update me, they can text me, they can actually send me photos of what they're up to, or we can just talk about it when I see them in person. And for me, I just find that is such a more personable way and meaningful way to actually connect. And I think when we're so focused on all of these loose connections, these acquaintances, always just trying to stay informed because we're afraid we're going to miss out on something or not be aware of the ever-evolving trends, I think that is just such an overwhelming way to live, and I think that takes such a toll on our health. And it's not until we take a step back that we realize how freeing it can be, and how oftentimes we make a lot of decisions based on how we think other people are going to perceive them. And when we simply remove that factor, we actually start making decisions and doing things for ourselves, taking photos of our life and not feeling any desire to share it, but just simply because we love these moments and we want to cherish them. And I think we regain such a sense of beauty back into our lives, and it even just allows us to be more present in the day-to-day moments that we're living. Number 5, and the final habit that I quit, was toxic productivity/busyness. And I actually just made an entire video talking all about this. It's just something I'm so passionate about because I feel like oftentimes we can use busyness as a way to mask true productivity. I think we just want to fill our lives with so much in order to feel like we have a sense of control and that we're actually making progress in achieving things. But I think the thing that a lot of us don't realize is when we're so focused on busyness or the toxic side of productivity, we're not actually achieving the things that we ultimately feel called to, because we're just keeping up rather than truly stripping down a lot of the things in our life and being intentional on a few really meaningful things versus trying to just do everything and say yes to everything. And I think when you can unlearn that, you find such a sense of freedom, clarity, direction, purpose in your life, and it allows you to do things from a place of overflow versus always exhaustion and burnout. So that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope, as always, my intention with these videos is to just encourage you to have a slower pace of life and to live a more intentional life, and that in order to do that, you actually don't need to do more. You oftentimes need to do less. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.